Good morning. Today is Bible study is on the book of Nehemiah. And the book of Nehemiah is describing the rebuilding of the wall of Jerusalem and the continued spiritual rebuilding of the people. So anyway, a secure environment is helpful for rebuilding any project. When we lack physical safety and emotional stability, it is difficult to concentrate on the job at hand. The people of Jerusalem had no physical security. Their city wall had been piles of rubble for over 100 years. The temple had been rebuilt many years before, but the wall around Jerusalem was still in disrepair and the gates had been burned. Walls are important boundaries. They protect and shelter inhabitants who live inside and repel destructive intruders from outside. In the ancient Near East, a city without walls was vulnerable to raids and all kinds of harassment. It was unthinkable. It was in this unstable situation that Ezra encouraged the Jews to rebuild their nation and their lives. At this time, Nehemiah worked as the cupbearer for King Artaxerxes of Persia. I can't pronounce his name. When Nehemiah heard about the situation that Ezra faced in Jerusalem, he literally sat down and wept. Nehemiah decided to approach King Artaxerxes about the problem, and he was given permission to lead a third group of Jews back to Jerusalem. He took responsibility for encouraging the people to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. Nehemiah's organizational skills and leadership abilities overcame both internal and external resistance to the rebuilding project. In the end, by trusting God and pulling together, the people completed the task of rebuilding the wall. When the work was completed, Nehemiah joined with Ezra to encourage the people to rebuild their lives, their culture, and proper worship of God. Together with God's help, they led the people in their recovery of their spiritual heritage. And the key scripture in Nehemiah is Nehemiah 9, verses 2 to 3. And it says, they confessed their own sins and the sins of their ancestors. The book of the law of the Lord their God was read aloud to them for about 3 hours. Then for 3 more hours, they took turns confessing their sins and worshiping the Lord their God. For believers, prayer is often an untapped resource or the last resort after every other possibility has been exhausted. It is refreshing to notice that for Nehemiah, prayer was his immediate response. He knew that if the situation was to be corrected, God would be the one to accomplish it. This is a powerful reminder for us. We should fall on our knees so we don't fall on our face. Our recovery should never be a solitary procedure. We should get other people involved. God bless you.